There are many things that I've learnt during this journey of mine so I've been had a lot of health issues for about 20, 25 years due to food. Been trying to fix them for about 10 years. And in the last 1 to 2 years, I've really put the foot down and just done anything it takes to try to fix it. One of the biggest things I've learned was that I needed to detach from my ideas of nutrition in order to produce success. And when I started to detach from them, I started to get more and more success. So, one of the biggest problems of this kind that I faced in the last couple of years was that I was vegan for a year. I initially got into it because of, you might know the channel Rob Stewart. He said that he healed his diet after a year being vegan. So I was convinced by this. I went vegan, and I didn't do it initially for any sense of feeling not that I hate animals or not that I would harm animals, but it just wasn't my um, reason for doing it. I was just doing it purely for health. So naturally, when you're doing something, you look for confirmation of the things that you're doing. So it gives you a sense of hope, or it gives you a sense that you're doing the right thing, because there's some fear there. Whenever you try something new, like veganism, carnivore, fasting, all of this stuff, there's always this sense of fear that you could hurt yourself, that something may go wrong. So you naturally find yourself watching YouTube videos, reading books that are in support of the thing that you're doing. So when I went vegan initially, I was just watching tons of vegan videos, and then it starts to get into your head that it is a healthy diet, that that it's morally superior to everything else, because you're not harming animals, you're not harming the environment. Definitely got into my head, and there's no other word for it except I was just brainwashed by these ideas. But I obviously did it to myself. I was looking for confirmation bias of this diet, and I was just getting all the information I could in support of what I was doing, with the idea in my head that I was going to do it for the rest of my life after, if it did heal me. And I was convinced it would take about a year to heal me. It hit about a year, nothing happened. During the whole year, actually, things started getting worse. I was getting weaker, losing muscle mass. I was incredibly skinny, looked kind of sick. Sleep wasn't great. Eczema got worse. Everything, digestion was worse. All of it. But I ignored it because I thought it was, as they call it, the detox symptoms. That's what the vegans call it, a year of detoxing, which seems ridiculous now looking back. I was just completely ignoring the signs my body was giving me, and instead listening to the information, or listening to my thoughts, or my ideas about this vegan diet. So because I was convinced by something, and because I didn't question it, I just wasted so much time. I mean, usually when people go vegan, after in a month or so, they find their health improves, because they're going from the standard diet to veganism. Naturally, you're going to be eating some healthier foods. So maybe for the first month or so, the health may increase, but then from there, it just gets worse and worse. And that's happens. It happens to so many people. It happened to me. I wasn't listening to my body. And I mean, if I had listened to my body instead of listening to what everyone else was telling me, which was it'll take a year, it'll get worse before it gets better, then I wouldn't have wasted so much time. So that's one example of that. Another example is that a friend of mine was doing keto, and I completely ignored it. I just had listened to a lot of stuff saying keto's not great, and a lot of information. I'd never tried it before, and then I tried it. Keto led me to the carnivore diet, which is working amazing for me. Um, Having the less reactions. My body is healing fast. It's not getting worse. It's getting better, rather than on the vegan diet. So if I had have kept continued to ignore, what this person was saying, then I may not have ever discovered what's going to help me in the end. Um, so, I mean, that's just a couple of examples of what I've learned, and why I think that I needed to remain detached from everything. I am right now detached. I'm eating a carnivore diet, but if I want to break it, I'll break it. I don't care. I'm not. attached to any ideals about this diet. I'll eat some plants if I have to. I'll break it at any time if I want to, if I'm going to test some food or whatever. With vegan, I got so brainwashed into this not eating animal products thing that it was healthier not to eat animal products that I just refused to no matter what for the entire year. So I mean, being strict carnivore is important, and I am doing it. But I mean, if I have to, I'll break it at any time. I don't care. And I think that's what's important with these types of all this experimentation is to constantly be thinking that you could be wrong and not to be attached to anything. Just detach from it, give it a good go. Be strict with it, but listen to the body. Don't listen to anything external. Don't listen to science. Don't listen to YouTubers. Don't listen to friends, family. Listen to your body, and I mean that's the main thing. If you find what works, your body should show it. You should be healing. A good example of this is with fasting. Anyone that fasts, everything just gets better. I've never heard of an example where things get worse when people fast. I mean, there's probably situations like anorexics and stuff, but that's something else. I mean, in terms of skin and digestional issues, fasting always improves it. So that's something that straight away you see the benefits, and obviously it's good for you. So keep going. And I mean, yeah, I think that's everything I really wanted to say on that. I just wanted to sort of touch on the fact that how brainwashed I could make myself with this sort of stuff. But that's over now. I've experienced the vegan diet. I've experienced keto. I've found carnivore. I'm fasting constantly. Fasting is still the main focus, and I'm hoping perfect health is coming soon. Thanks, guys.